Social class is a foundational concept in sociology, offering a lens through which to understand inequality, privilege, and power in society. It captures how material and symbolic resources are distributed and how those patterns shape people's opportunities, behaviors, and worldviews. While definitions vary, social class typically refers to groupings based on shared economic positions, social roles, and cultural traits. In this video, we examine 10 key concepts that together provide a more detailed understanding of how class operates in modern societies. Class stratification refers to the hierarchical organization of individuals into layers based on wealth, income, occupation, and education. These layers, or strata, are not just descriptive. They produce real consequences in terms of access to housing, healthcare, education, and political influence. In many capitalist societies, class stratification tends to produce a pyramidal structure, with a small elite controlling most resources at the top, a middle class in varying degrees of security or precarity, and a large working or underclass with limited upward mobility. For example, access to elite private schools and top universities is often restricted to the upper strata, reinforcing privilege across generations. Economic capital is the material foundation of social class and includes income, financial assets, property ownership, and control over resources. It determines what neighborhoods people can afford to live in, what healthcare options are available to them, and how much leisure time they can enjoy. A CEO earning millions annually has vastly different life opportunities than a minimum wage worker. Economic capital is also critical in cushioning families during crises. Those with savings and assets can withstand job loss or medical emergencies, while those without fall deeper into poverty. Cultural capital refers to non-financial assets that promote social mobility, such as education, language skills, dress codes, aesthetic preferences, and familiarity with dominant cultural norms. For instance, a child who grows up attending museums, reading classic literature, and speaking a prestigious dialect acquires a form of cultural capital that can help them succeed in elite educational or professional settings. Unlike economic capital, cultural capital is often invisible, but it plays a major role in job interviews, college admissions, and workplace dynamics. Social capital is the sum of relationships, networks, and connections that individuals can draw upon to gain support, information, and opportunities. It is not evenly distributed. Those from privileged backgrounds often inherit dense networks of influence, while marginalized groups may lack such access. For example, an internship at a top firm might be available to someone whose parent has a personal connection to the hiring manager. Social capital reinforces existing class boundaries by making success easier to attain for the well-connected. Status and prestige relate to the respect, honor, or social esteem attributed to certain positions, lifestyles, or individuals. High prestige occupations like doctors, judges, and professors are typically associated with higher class standing, even if their income varies. Status symbols such as luxury cars, exclusive fashion brands, or membership in elite clubs signal one's position and help maintain class distinctions. In many cases, individuals with high cultural or symbolic capital may enjoy significant prestige, even if their financial situation is modest. Class consciousness is the awareness of one's position within a class structure and the recognition of shared interests with others in the same group. It is essential for collective action, such as union organizing or political movements that challenge inequality. Historical examples include the labor movement of the early 20th century, when workers united around a common class identity to demand better wages and conditions. Class consciousness can lead to solidarity, but it must be cultivated. Without it, people may accept inequality as natural or unchangeable. False consciousness refers to a distorted perception of one's social position, often shaped by dominant ideologies that mask exploitation or inequality. For example, a worker may believe that poverty results from individual failure rather than structural barriers, or that they are temporarily embarrassed millionaires rather than members of the working class. This concept developed in Marxist theory, helps explain why exploited groups do not always resist their conditions. Advertising, media narratives, and political rhetoric all play a role in sustaining false consciousness by promoting individualism, meritocracy, or consumerism. Social mobility is the ability of individuals or families to move between class positions. Upward mobility occurs when people rise to a higher class, often through education, entrepreneurship, or professional advancement. Downward mobility involves loss of income, job security, or social status. While some mobility exists, research shows that intergenerational class persistence remains strong in most countries. For instance, a child born into a poor family is statistically less likely to attend university or secure a high-paying job than a child born into wealth, even when academic performance is similar. Habitus describes the ingrained habits, dispositions, and ways of seeing the world that individuals acquire through their social environment. Developed by Bourdieu, this concept explains why people from different classes act, speak, or dress in particular ways, and how these behaviors reflect deep-seated structures of inequality. For example, someone raised in a working-class household may find academic or corporate environments alienating, not due to lack of intelligence, but due to unfamiliarity with the cultural codes in those spaces. Habitus also shapes aspirations, tastes, and a sense of what is possible. Intersectionality emphasizes that social class does not operate in isolation. It intersects with race, gender, sexuality, ability, and other forms of identity, producing compound and unique experiences of advantage or disadvantage. A poor woman of color may face economic hardship compounded by racial and gender discrimination, while a wealthy white man benefits from the opposite. Understanding class through an intersectional lens helps avoid simplistic assumptions and highlights the complex ways in which inequality is lived. It also informs policies that aim to address multiple forms of marginalization simultaneously. In conclusion, social class is not just about money or job titles. It encompasses a range of economic, cultural, and social dynamics that structure everyday life, shape identities, and influence power relations. The concepts outlined here provide a toolkit for analyzing how class functions and why it continues to matter in contemporary society. By making these structures visible, we can better understand inequality and envision more just alternatives. Stay tuned for more insights into business and the social sciences. If you found this overview helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment on future topics you'd like us to cover. I'm Dr. Dog, wishing you a fantastic day ahead.